All right, y'all. So you guys know that I'm a huge fan of blogging for great SEO and to get your business and your expertise found on Google. However, one of the biggest hangups that I hear again and again is that blogging takes so much time. Now, obviously, anything you do takes time, and your money are both investments that you're making into things. But today I'm going to break down for you exactly how much time you and your team should realistically be spending on blogging. So get a notebook and a pen, because this is going to be a very tactical, practical, take notes, do the things kind of episode. We're going to jump on in and get to the rat killing, y'all. So listen in. Hey there, fellow entrepreneur. Welcome to Simple SEO and Marketing with me, Faith Hannon. Do you want to grow your business with organic marketing and finally feel like you can understand SEO? Are you scouring the internet for how to get more website traffic, SEO for dummies, and how to market on Pinterest? Have you tried to grow your business with SEO and blogging only to get frustrated and quit because it's overwhelming and too time consuming? Been there. Hey, I'm Faith Hannon, Jesus lover, copywriter, blogger, wife, wrangler of tiny humans, and barrel racer. And let me tell you, I didn't have time to waste sorting through SEO and keyword strategies that either didn't work or were so over my head I couldn't understand them. I honestly thought that SEO and blogging only worked for people with a PhD in tech jargon and a whole team of employees, until I learned these secrets. Good SEO strategies don't have to be complicated, and creating and marketing great content doesn't have to take more than a couple hours a week total. So pop in those earbuds, slam some coffee, and let's grow your business with simple organic marketing and a healthy dose of biblical encouragement along the way. Okay, so if y'all have been around the interwebs for more than 5 seconds, you have probably heard somebody talking about both of these things. One crowd of people loves blogging. Yes, blog all the things. Blogging is amazing. And the other crowd of people hates blogging because they hate writing and it takes so much time, okay? However, blogging is in my expert / everybody's still trying to figure everything out opinion. Blogging is really essential to getting your website found on the internet and getting leads from your website. Why? Well, a ton of reasons, but one of the main ones is that blogging gives you an opportunity to get found for every single blog that you post, and it shows Google that you are producing valuable content on a regular basis. Go clear back in the catalogs to episode number 5 for 6 reasons why your business needs a blog for SEO, lead generation, and content strategy. But essentially, y'all, if you want to get found on Google, you probably need to blog. And obviously, the time that it takes to blog is going to vary industry to industry and audience to audience, but you shouldn't probably have to vary a huge ton from these outlines, these guidelines, these timestamps that I'm going to give you. So here, I'm going to walk you through a little bit of the basic flow of blogging, right? So you can kind of get where my brain's at and see how I break things down. And then I'm going to walk you through 5 tips to actually figure out how to save time and give you exact time amounts that it takes me to do this. Okay, so the basic flow of blogging is this. You have the idea for content, and then you verify searchability, because we all know nobody cares about your personal blog, at least not enough to search it and hear about your personal diary that you post on the internet, right? We need to be creating content around things that are searched. Now, that being said, some people's brains just work a little bit differently in that they want to look at the keywords, do the keyword research first, and then come up with an idea. I'll be real. That is not how my brain works. That's just not how I work. So I have an idea, and then I do the keyword research about how to phrase that idea, okay? So you have the idea, you verify the idea, then you have the planning stage, when am I going to publish this? What point, where does this link up with my content strategy? BT dubs. If you don't have my content repurposing cheat sheet, you should grab that. But then you have the planning stage, right? And then depending on your niche, you're going to have some research that you need to do. Okay. Now, obviously, if you're writing like a medical advice blog, you're a doctor, the research that you need to do is vastly heavier than the research that, somebody giving outfit advice probably needs to do. So that's going to depend on your industry, right? And then you have the outline phase, because please, for the love of all things holy, as somebody who is an English nerd growing up and has a minor in English, you create better content when you outline. Even if you're a verbal processor, please outline your content. Okay, off that soapbox. Then from the outline phase, you have the writing phase, and then you have the optimization phase, and then you have the marketing phase, which includes like publishing your content on your actual blog, marketing to your email list, marketing to your Facebook and your Instagram, all those things. All of that is lumped into marketing, okay? Now, obviously, each of these stages takes some time, but hint, hint, when you batch work, they really don't take a ton of time. Hey friend, I know you're trying to grow this business, but does it feel like it's not really going anywhere? Did you know that we can actually fix the back end of your business so that you have some great SEO? Did you know that we can repurpose your podcast, repurpose your blog, and help you grow faster? Did you know that was even an option? If you're thinking, oh my goodness, Faith, that would be amazing, then head on over to faithhannon.com/coaching or click the link in the show notes. In just 1 hour of your time, we'll get you a marketing plan in a box with the exact keywords that you need to be going for, how and where to implement them, and at least 3 months of SEO-focused content planned out for you. Let's get your coaching call on the books right now and get your marketing strategy headed in the right direction. Spots are limited, so don't wait. And I cannot wait to help you finally get the breakthrough you've been waiting for and jumpstart your business dream back to life. Okay, so now I'm going to walk you through 5 tips to save yourself time on blogging. And then within those tips, I'm going to give you how much time things actually take me to do for my business. All right, so tip number 1 is to plan ahead, because when you are having to switch your brain back and forth into planning mode and creation mode, it's exhausting. And when you plan ahead, then you're able to take advantage of batch working, which, if y'all don't know by now, I'm a huge fan of batch working for multiple reasons. But one, it allows you to kind of get in the flow of something and then just whip out a ton of that thing. Now, there's basically 2 different kinds of batch working. You can like batch from start to finish, or batch smaller pieces of the same puzzle. But also, when you plan ahead, it allows you to launch more strategically and to create content that is actually going to move the needle forward for your business, instead of just having to sit around and come up with random ideas that don't actually serve your people and help your business. So numero uno tip here is to plan ahead. The number 2 tip I have for you goes right in with number 1, and it is to batch work everything that you can. Now, I actually have a whole episode on batch working, episode number 26, where I talk about, are you wasting hours creating content? Learn how to batch work the right way for massive time savings and better content. But basically, you need to batch work everything that you can. You need to batch your planning. You need to batch your outlining. You need to batch work your actual writing of blogs. If you can, even batch work optimization, batch work the graphic creation, batch work your marketing and scheduling out all of your repurposed content. Batch work. It saves you and your team so much time. Now, my number 3 tip is this: create a workflow and put links in every single step. Now, when I first started blogging, I've shared about this some, but when I first started blogging, it took me between 4 and 5 hours to write and post one blog, start to finish, like 4 to 5 hours, which is ridiculous, because I'm a writer naturally. I have a minor in English. I love writing. The writing part is not the hard part for me, but it was all of the piddly little steps in between, like graphics and images and titling, like all of those dumb little things took me for stinking ever. Now, it does not take me that long. I'll tell you exactly how long it takes in just a second, but create a workflow and then put links in every single step. I love MeisterTask. I know a lot of people love Asana or ClickUp or Trello, but those are simply just project management systems. A workflow in its essence tells you what you need to do in what order. Honest to goodness, if all you have is a Google Doc that walks you through your blogging process with a link to click here for this website, click here for this website, click here for this website, it takes so much stress off of your brain when everything is laid out for you and you don't have to rethink or refigure out what to do when for each and every time. Now, shameless plug, y'all, I give you my workflow in the organic marketing framework. So if you were just like, Faith, I need a plug and play workflow. I need to know exactly how to blog, how to do keyword research for my blogs. The organic marketing framework walks you through all of that. And I show you everything step by step, screen share. This is exactly my blogging process for myself and for clients that pay me to do this for them. I show you all of that inside the organic marketing framework. Now, the number 4 tip, and really the one I'm most excited about, if I'm being honest, is to set realistic time limits on each step and then stick to them, okay? Now, this is what it takes me. This is what it takes me to blog, okay? Now, the planning portion, I batch work, hello. So planning takes me 30 minutes to an hour every month or 2. Sometimes I really do plan out 2 months of content at a time, sometimes even 3, okay? And the planning portion, just getting the idea, making sure that it fits with my audience, doing a tiny bit of keyword research to make sure it's actually searched. Just because I've done so much keyword research, like I know what my keywords are, right? So the planning part takes me 30 minutes to an hour every month or 2 max, okay? And then the outlining portion, I will often batch work that as well. That takes me 10 to 15 minutes per podcast and blog. Now, depending on where your forms of long form content are, maybe you can repurpose a podcast into a blog. Now, please hear me on this. Please hear me on this. For the love of all things holy, do not post a podcast or YouTube transcript as a blog. One, that does not serve your people at all. And nobody want to read through a transcript of your podcast. Bless it. They don't want to read it. I don't want to read it. You don't want to read it. Your audience doesn't want to read it. Do not post a transcript of your blog, of your podcast, and call it a blog. Please and thank you. Okay? But when you repurpose a podcast into a blog, like I teach you inside the organic marketing framework, you're really knocking out 2 long form pieces of content in one fell swoop. Super easy, super streamlined, okay? So I outline my podcasts, and that same outline gets turned into a blog outline, okay? So the outline portion takes me 10 to 15 minutes max. If it's something that is requiring heavier research, then maybe a little bit longer. But to be honest, by the time I'm in the outlining stage, I've already done my research. I've already done the experimenting with client work or done the research in that work, or I'm constantly learning. And so I just have like a list of articles that I've read or a list of articles that I want to talk about, whatever. So the research part is usually pretty well done by now. So the outlining part takes me 10 to 15 minutes. Now, to actually write my own blogs, it takes me 30 minutes max, like the actual writing of the thing, 30 minutes max. And I like to write on a Google Doc. I do not recommend writing straight into WordPress because I just like to have things saved in more than one place, to be real. Because if one system crashes, then I still have my crap on another platform instead of having all of my stuff in WordPress. I'm a big fan of writing on Google Docs. So the writing portion takes me 30 minutes. Optimizing it for SEO, including keyword placement, keyword research, that whole process takes me 30 minutes max. And y'all, I have timed these things. I'm not just pulling these numbers out of thin air. I have timed these things and gotten consistently within these times, okay? Graphic creation from templates takes me 15 minutes max. And then repurposing, when I care about repurposing on my social medias channels, takes 20 minutes. And then my Pinterest strategy takes 20 minutes. So the whole thing takes me like 2.5 hours max. Really and truly, without the Pinterest portion of it, I can get everything done in an hour and a half and have consistently, okay? Now the Pinterest portion, sometimes I will batch my Pinterest pins because I like to use a platform called Tailwind. So sometimes I will have all of my Pinterest stuff done and all of my Pinterest graphics done, and I'll upload my pins like once a month. So sometimes I batch work my Pinterest pins, and that's just a little bit different workflow as far as like batch working that versus integrating it into like my weekly blog. So those are my time limits. I'm going to walk you through my time limits that I set on myself and stick to them. First, planning, 30 minutes to an hour every month or two. Second, outlining, 10 to 15 minutes per podcast, which is then turned into a blog. Writing, 30 minutes max. Optimizing, 30 minutes max. Graphics, 15 minutes. Repurposing, 20 minutes. Pinterest, 15 minutes. Now, if you are listening to this and you're like, oh my gosh, Faith, please help me. Seriously, go grab the organic marketing framework. I walk you through the whole thing in that. And it's so streamlined that it's something that you're going to be able to take and put into your business and really use without hating your life. Okay? Now, the number 5 tip that I have for you to really save time where it matters in blogging is to every so often evaluate holes and the time suckers in your blogging process. Now, if you have a team, they 100% need to be timing each step. They need to be using Toggle or whatever you use for your time tracking, but have them time each step within the workflow so then you can go back and evaluate, okay, how long did this take you? Well, we probably need to streamline this. How can I help you streamline this? Oh, wait, this part took you way shorter. What are you doing? How can I learn from you? Okay. And then evaluate holes in your own process as well. But if you don't evaluate where the holes are at and the time suckers in your process, then you're never going to get better. And you're going to be stuck at little baby blogger Faith stage where each blog takes you 5 hours of your life. So, y'all, I am excited for this episode. I hope that you take it. I hope that you take these time limits and put them in your workflow. On Friday, I actually have an episode coming for you where I talk about how much money blogging should cost you, should take you and your team, because that's another factor in, blogging with the intent of getting found and lead generation is, y'all, it does take some money. Doesn't have to take a crap ton, but it does take some. So looking forward to sharing that with you on Friday. And please, if you haven't left a written review on Apple Podcast, would you please go do that? It helps so much. It helps my show get found. It helps to bless more Christian entrepreneurs and more entrepreneurs because the show is getting found and because they're able to take these tactical, practical tips to have better SEO and market their business smarter, not harder. So I would truly appreciate any and all lovely reviews, preferably 5 stars on Apple Podcasts. But y'all have a great rest of your day, and we'll chat with you again on Friday. Bye. Thank you so much for listening in today. Hopefully this episode gave you some really tangible tips for better SEO and marketing to get more leads and more sales from your website. If it did, can I ask you a quick favor? Would you please share this episode with a friend and then just take 10 seconds and go leave a written review on Apple Podcasts? That is the very best way to help more Jesus-loving entrepreneurs scale their businesses so that they can help more people with their gifts and make an even bigger impact for the kingdom of God. And guess what? We now have a Facebook community where we can learn, hang out, and laugh. Go join the Facebook group now. It's linked in the show notes. and all the other things, courses, coaching, and copywriting, can be found at my website, faithhannon.com. Until next time, God bless, and I'll talk to you soon.